some moderate hot lemon ginger tea. If you want.
Is it hot? Is that what you said? Moderate.
It's you might have to strain the fresh ginger with your tea.
It's ginger tea.
Ginger lemon tea.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's just so minimalist. Thank you so much.
I'll give it
Probably be a good
five
report.
stars.
You know, they just bring down something like this.
So I guess we can start with the four of us.
Sure.
Yeah, I've got
I don't know. I don't know if Bill.
Well, that's what
Mike
Marty
said.
said.
Bill's, yeah.
Bill said.
Bill's thing is the one about,
Okay.
yeah,
I didn't see that.
he's
I think
definitely.
I do.
Okay, so it's gonna be the four of us.
But it doesn't
You did
look
like
as
some
hot, so it's all
Tidbits of
right.
information about it.
Maybe I'll sit a little closer so I don't have to.
Yeah, sure. Come on over.
Can I sit over there?
Yeah, so whatever you want. No, but everyone can come on the table. Have tea. We need cookies.
Nice and zany.
Very good.
So what's it?
It's basically.
All right, so let's start with going over the minutes from, was it November? It's the November meetings, because we didn't have a quorum last month. So we have to go to the minutes from November and approve those. Yeah, so Margaret is sick. If not, I heard that. I just took a 2-hour nap and I was like, I can go.
Well, I get this stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna do the, yes, the 11:06 minutes. It's good tea. What's the actors of the lemon tea guy?
Just gone, man.
Lemon ginger tea, and it's because you have lemonade. You gotta want that much lemonade. And fresh ginger.
That's
You
good.
don't want
I was gonna throw garlic in it, but then I figured that.
You were sitting back
You guys
there.
have that kind of home. Yeah, that sign can't be repaired. I tried. Yeah, Prospect Park.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can tell.
I think it's Bessie's. Yeah, Bessie's. Got a lot of things to do. Oh my God. I mean, you started putting like little action things next to these.
Just a not really part of the others and also.
Yeah.
She'd rather volunteers for work days. I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop the
But- And they're fun when you can do it. It's always fun, right? For a work day, you come for a work day.
Depends on what it is,
Yeah.
again, it's when.
In the spring, when we're doing a big, not really eating part of it.
She's got some animals that like to eat it. Goats just have goats.
They have something in England that they're testing out. I don't think it's not a bug, really. It's some sort of, I don't know, I forget what it is.
Yeah, it's not weed.
Yeah. They've let loose. So they must have tested it.
20 years of IQ, how do you say? Self-therapy.
Yeah, somebody
Whatever.
will be eating all blueberries.
Frogs over in
like
Australia.
a spotted fruit fly. It's eating all the blueberries now. So did Margaret do the annual report?
Yes.
This is from last year.
No, she did the report.
She did it again.
She
this
did
year?
it again.
Oh, she's such a good baby.
She had some words to say about my volunteering her. Any changes to the?
November.
Alright, motion to,
Motion. Have a
all in
second.
favor? Alright, minutes of November are approved as written.
Hard to change.
Yeah, on to January. We can do,
Oh, this is the annual report.
that's annual report, well, we can, are you here to talk about the falls? Or
No,
other?
you know, your agenda is always so interesting that I thought I'd just come. I have no particular axe to grind today.
Alright, I just wanted, because if there was something you're particularly interested in, we can move it
Thank
up
you.
if you're.
Thank you.
Alright.
All right, so I'll do the annual report.
Yeah, let's do the annual report then. There's copies of everything if you'd like to read while you're waiting. There's-
Yeah, there is actually.
Yeah, these are the agenda and the minutes. And this is the annual report draft.
There's no reading it now. I did read this earlier, I have to say. Though it seems like they don't do much, but actually they do a lot. That's the way it is.
Just because half of it gets washed out.
That's true.
Yeah, it does get washed. Do you say it gets washed out?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so does most half the work of Drew does too.
Yeah. At least we didn't work on, at least we didn't work on the island this year. I don't know about fewer complaints regarding the squatters.
It's the only thing, I didn't know that we recommended the placement of the police without a bathroom facility. I thought we was.
Yeah, I don't think.
Well,
Yeah, we could
We
change
actually-
it.
I'd be
we
careful.
actually recommended a different place, and
Well, I'm just saying-
chose another place.
In reading that, it makes it feel like we came up with this idea
And we
of
did.
putting
Mm.
a bathroom there. We
Well, maybe we did that.
we recommended the location once we were told they were putting it there because we were going to receive some.
I
If we
guess-
did, I wanted to be.
I guess we could say, in addition to the fence, we assented to the town's, you know,
Yeah.
recommendation
Yeah.
about the placement of a
I don't think
bathroom.
it's anything we want to
Mm.
take full stuff.
There are some doubting Thomases out there, or, sorry, Tom.
That's all right. It's what my name means.
Is that what it is? Is that
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's one of the two meanings. I don't know what it literally means.
Use whatever you want.
This does bring to mind that I actually haven't heard back from Don Johnson. I keep meaning to
I was
call
thinking
him.
that too.
And do we know what year it was? I don't know, like the year out, the city prospect farm paragraph. Said prospect farm has now reached the forest coverage since last assessment in whatever year that was, we find that.
Look in the filing
We could
cabinet.
also just say since his last assessment period.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah,
Kill yourself over that.
okay.
I think it should be, we hire Don Johnson of Forest Management because he's one of the owners, he might be the sole owner, and I think he needs to be a partnership. He's the owner.
It's somewhere in like 2009 work.
Mhm.
I was actually, I'll tell you guys about it later, but I was
No, it's fine.
taking it for the filing cabinet on Friday. Is that Friday? That was Friday. Because it looks like that's when the last cut occurred. I'm like, you wait.
Trying to think back, like when,
Because the forestry management plan was dated 2003, but there was like updated maps from that are dated 2009. So I was wondering if that meant they were cut around that time. I don't know.
I think
I thought
that's
they were
the-
behind though, and that's when we did our cut. You know, they said, well, let's catch up and do the next one. And people said, no, no.
That is true.
Yeah.
I remember when I
True,
first
but
town meeting, but
we took advantage of the fact that the Forest Service is gonna be out there anyway.
Yeah.
I remember Tom Perkins getting up at town meeting the next year and railing about like
Yeah,
the logging on both sides would destroy the skiing.
yeah.
But I couldn't tell you what year it was.
It's what? I don't remember what
Did
I had.
you-
So that's why I'm going to read it, because I figured Brian stuff.
You have to assess term limits here.
You might have to, you might have to. They have more people here. A lot of boards do have alternates too.
Yeah.
That's good.
I would say we'll skip the other new section. Because the solar panel tax break will be next year's town meeting.
Mhm.
Yes.
And was it this year that Bill joined, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that would be the board remains, officer remain the same. Don't even,
Military. Right, this. Did Larry, he passed away in 2016, 2007?
I was 16.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
We didn't have any major changes. Things we did that we didn't really promise.
We don't have to mention anything about, what's his negative news? Black Mountain.
Well, regarding the
We could do
others
that.
permits, do we have to be more specific? Probably not.
I don't think it would be a bad idea to mention the Black Mountain thing, only because it's an opportunity for a whole, the town to see that there is something going on.
Is that one of the permits that did not require a signature?
No. I would say we were like, basically, we're CC'd on the ongoing discussion between the state and Black Mountain. Is the status of that, because the scope of it is so large that we have no role to play in it.
Mhm.
So I feel like we just get notified.
What do you guys think? I think it would be fair to say that we're continuing to work through the whatever disagreement, whatever it is between the state and,
Yeah.
I think he's kind of put it upon himself. And people,
Well, we're continuing to carry on and monitor.
Yeah.
So we say we continue to monitor.
I mean, there's a way to word it that make it sound like we're not pointing the finger so much,
Right.
as just saying, hey, this is still, I think for some people they'll be surprised that it's maybe just ongoing, so like it hasn't been resolved.
So we're just monitoring, you know,
The development of a wetlands plan for the snowmaking pond be-
that sounds good.
between the ski area and Black Mountain, and we can know if it's on well in Scenic River.
Yeah, I like that. It's good.
And anything about, I guess we didn't have anything to do with it, but Hayes Farm becoming protected.
It's on their calendar, we share.
Is it really?
Their calendar is like artwork, you know, inspired by the Recycle Island Trust
2018?
properties. There's 2 paintings up there. Down there.
They never asked us for any donations for that, because I think we were talking about setting up some sort of a,
Yeah.
program or process if somebody wants some money or to make a donation of money.
To pay for the
Yeah.
sustained
Yeah, stewardship.
stewardship.
Mm.
We're gonna get $5,000.
Yeah, we would have to have, but we would have to have some sort of
That's great, Brooke,
what do you
great.
call
And us,
it, a system.
Yeah. because everybody would
Yeah.
usually ask for it.
Yeah.
Then we'll have to get this passed. Well,
Yeah.
All right, so we continue to monitor the development of a wetlands plan between Black Mountain and DES for the removal of saline water from Great Brook, which is part of the Wildcat and Scenic River.
Corridor.
Yeah, it's one corridor.
Is it?
yeah, it is, because it's
It ends at the bridge.
the tributary.
At the Stone Bridge?
Yeah, the bridge that's like literally 100 feet up from where they take the water out is the end of the wild and scenic designation.
Hmm.
Oh,
So
okay.
close.
Okay.
I know others here have gone through the same thing. I imagine the States used to, there's always like ponds that somebody dug and, the first one making.
Mhm.
Okay, anything else? All right,
Yeah.
sounds good. Well, I can bring the changes since Margaret, I guess we all have to together, but we can then send it out again. Then send it on to the town office for inclusion in the annual report. All right, on to the rest of it.
When is when's the deadline? We want to get a conservation commission photograph by chance?
I don't know, they didn't ask this year. Last year they asked. We could try,
We tried to get everybody together.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take it at falls.
I don't know when it goes to
I think we
be
should have
published.
food.
Food where
Yeah.
let it in.
Yeah.
That's your cup of tea.
Yeah, see if they'd known they would be here.
All right, prospect farm. I think we can keep that one to February for the subcommittee to continue its development of a management plan.
Well, we just simply have to set a date to get together.
Yeah, that'd be great. And something I guess this is new business, but I met with Wendy Scribner from the UNH Extension Office on Friday, because she's working on a project inventorying town-owned properties above 10 acres in the northern 3 counties of New Hampshire. And they're just gathering information, questions like, do you have a timber management plan? Do you have a management plan? Do you extract, basically money from the piece of land? What is it used for primarily? Those type of questions. And I basically helped her fill out the.
So is it only Prospect Farm or is it? Or is it the?
It was Gray's Inn. It was Prospect Farm and Gray's Inn. So she had this whole series of questions.
Mullen Road, how big is that?
These.
Mullen Road,
She,
isn't that counted?
I don't know. These were properties that our board theoretically has, I guess, not permitted,
Yes,
but
recommended.
recommended. Yeah. Because the other ones were like some of the land associated with the water precinct and things like that. So I just helped her fill out. So it was like, pretty simple questions like when did the town acquire it? Why did the town acquire it? How was it used? Do you have all these different management plans? She did, and then I kind of asked like, hey, we could use some help sometimes. And one was like on writing a management plan.
I wonder what the percentage of land that the town owns is actually larger than 10 acres. Like, I wonder if there are many parcels less than 10 acres.
What the
Yeah.
town is?
Yeah.
Well, we figure,
Yeah.
I mean, for example, like
there's the.
historical museum,
Mm-hmm.
is like one plot that's less than 10 acres. The skating rink next to it is a separate plot. The school. Those are all like
Washington
council.
Road, Mullen Road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all little
Um,
So she was.
Falls, I think the top part, is the top part on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she might be able to give us some resources, was the question I asked. She also did mention there are other resources available, like a tool library, from what I don't know, the Northern Forest Council, I believe, but I might be mistaken on the name of it. So towns would have to just go out and buy all the tools that they might want to have
Right.
volunteers come in and
Right.
ask and borrow spades or whatever,
Mm.
that kind of thing. And then they also have kind of advice on things like not weed trails, events, that they could also help provide.
So that's through UNH?
Yeah,
Extension?
her office is the UNH and USDA are down at Conway,
Yeah.
so she's in there. So hopefully we'll be getting more information about all that.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll have to buy tools if it's convenient to borrow them,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And she did mention the other thing, I guess would be grazing, but kind of like work parties or things like knotweed. You know, and recommendations on best ways to do it. It's kind of like barn raisings, but like, no, your town has knotweed too. Like, so go to Jackson this month. Like next month, go to Madison,
Right,
you know,
right.
that kind of thing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, or start tracking high school kids.
Can you like do them and then give them a penny or give them 10 cents for every, you know, like clump of
Mhm.
knotweed. So get the grammar school kids out here.
Still don't know how that helps at all along the brook here. I mean, what are you pointing out for?
Well,
Just so it grows back the next 2 years.
it will do, it will.
I mean, if it's just to make it look good, I'd feel fine doing it. But if you're thinking that you're actually eradicating it, or even doing anything other than, it's like weeding that part in your yard that you know the quackgrass is going to grow back in, you just pull it because it's just better.
Maybe they'll go up and help the people upstream pull theirs too.
Yeah, I mean, effectively, you cannot possibly pull that root out of those areas. It's a jungle of logs and, but
Right. And I noticed the signs were here. Some of the signs are broken up at Prospect Farm.
Yes.
We can talk about that next year. about what
should we
we would-
maybe just put them on plywood backs?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I like a more permanent.
Yeah, because they just get cold and
Yeah.
brittle.
Yeah.
That one on Hall's Ledge, I don't think anyone touched it. I think the wind just
Oh, geez.
set it down.
Yeah. Right.
You got plenty of scraps.
All right. Anything else for Prospect Farm?
We really haven't.
No, I mean, I've been up there a bunch.
No, I've been up there at all.
I did when I was going because Wendy was asking me all these questions about both Prospect Farm and grazing, and I was like, I don't know when the forestry management plan. I was like, I didn't know it was written, and I think went and pulled it out, and it's 2003. But there are things in there that would definitely help kind of past discussions that have
Yeah.
less about like a management plan, because I'm kind of picturing something that's just written down. It's like we manage it for whatever recreation and this and that and the other thing. I think here are the things we balance and think about and whatever else. But there are definitely old.
Maybe before we go tonight, we should just pull out a couple things because we'll probably be out early just to, because I feel like I was showing something that Phil Davies was in charge. Conservation Commission, that was Prospect Farm based.
I'm sure we can get the minutes from the Great Hullabaloo 3-4 years ago. Whatever that was. 3 years ago.
When Phil was in charge?
No, when Larry
Hmm.
was saying like, the whole discussion of rules rather than like,
I missed that, I wasn't up on that.
yeah. It was, somebody asked Julie if they have a key to like drive up there, and Julie was like, I don't know, what are the rules about having a key to drive up there? Because traditionally I think it's just been like picking up your deer if you're a hunter. And she was like, what are the accepted uses? Like, is it just for ADA access for folks or whatever? And it led to this whole discussion that actually got like 25 people in the room, like, you know, very fired up. Like, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. So I think ideally the management plan would say like, these things happen.
It's actually more like,
Until,
We used to do this.
these are the things I'll do since you tell me I won't be able to do them. It's actually truly what actually happened. I ride a motorcycle there, or if you tell me I can't, I won't want to.
yeah. All right, on to Jackson Falls. And the first thing I'll mention is, I don't know if you saw everyone's email I sent about, basically, was it 3-4 meetings ago? When, I don't know if it was Phil or someone else who used to be on the Conservation Commission, basically threw out like, hey, have you guys investigated the blah, blah, blah series of deeds that gave the land to the town? And wrote,
Is that the one with the quick deed?
Yeah.
I got that one. And
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I poked through it a little bit, and it more or less looks like the town outright owns a chunk of land, and then there's a chunk of land below, at the corner, starting at the corner, the town owns outright, and then at some spot the town stops owning it outright and has permanent right to access the river.
As an easement.
Yeah, behind the two privately owned houses, including the two islands, including the lower parking lot, and like where the garden is and the gazebo and all that,
Mhm.
you know, which I presume is why all the town paid to have all those historic displays put there and everything.
That's technically what land, right?
It appears to me that the condo association owns the land and the town has a permanent right to access it and access the river over it. And it looked like this was gone through in 2005. And the thing that seems maybe like an action item, which is what I sent to Julie and Julie, is that there appears to be a parcel on the tax map that doesn't exist. So there's like, you know, lot 10C or whatever it is, I forget, you know. There's a lot that the town outright owns, and then there's another lot that doesn't exist anywhere else, and it looks like that's part of this area where we have the easement.
Hmm.
So hopefully they're gonna see if they can update the tax map to reflect the actual ownership as it is.
There's also, at some point I came across someone trying to do a registry, I thought online, I think there's an easement deed on the other side of the river, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
On the big parcel over there? Or?
It
The
starts from the town
tennis
hall
court.
parking lot and goes up.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's
Which
pretty cool.
parking? Yeah.
The town hall.
Oh.
That's just what I was gonna mention. And that's a little tricky too, because the family above the Dyers, they're, who owns what in that actual parking lot area is kind of fudge. Because there's some sort of a swap, and it's not really clear, it's not clean, at
Mhm.
least who ends up with a pretty substantial chunk of that, part of that parking lot.
It'd be interesting to see that, just to know which people
Just
it
to
is.
see
Yeah.
the length of it. Do you know how far up it goes? Does it go along the edge of the river?
I can't remember.
It might just be an access.
There's a triangle piece, the piece that I'm talking about that I was uncertain because I had to do frontage, but it's just a triangle. I forget about the part that goes along the river, where that ends. I mean, I know their property, I know their boundary, but I don't know regarding the easement, how far it goes up, if it's in addition to what's the actual property boundary.
I might rummage around and see if you can print it out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Because I was thinking when I was going through all this, like, would it be worth, like, I don't know, I believe, right, there's kind of a big chunk on the other side that's owned, like, to approach them and see if they would want to put an easement on it to, like, effectively protect that side of the river also.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of land too. Couple nice trails in there. Where the Boulders Inn used to be.
Really? They used to be in
Yeah.
it.
Boulders Inn. It was like a grand, sort of like a grand hotel kind of
How,
thing.
when did that go?
I don't know if you go into like Doucette's driveway where the swimming pool is,
Mhm.
instead of bearing left, you bear right, and it just
That's
goes
how I
up.
went back in there. So
Goes up parallel to the road, and then it goes to the left, and you can find all the water lines. It's cool.
that must be a nice
It
location.
got logged
Yeah.
not that long ago, so it kind of doesn't have the same feel,
Yeah.
but prior to the logging, you could really be like, whoa,
So
this
it's
is
interesting.
really nice vantage point.
And the next item would be, which I think we kind of want to bring up before, so maybe we can discuss it and go to next month a little bit, is what we want to do next year in the big picture. You know, what's eroding and how can we stop it from eroding?
Yeah, and I was thinking that it would be fun to get some soil in there to cover up some of these big roots,
Yep.
up at the park. It's like a promontory or whatever it is. Right in front of the main access coming in. I think you could probably cover that up, plant it. And I was thinking there's some areas where you could maybe, besides the festoons and the plantings, maybe get some ferns and start trying to,
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Revegetate, yeah.
Right.
with the native stuff.
That stuff holds up well to water. You know, those root systems will stay intact.
Yeah.
It has to be fast growing.
It's
Yeah.
a gamble, right?
But it is.
The problem is if you get a dry season, it's very hard on those plants, and so they don't necessarily take hold as well.
Lots and lots of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Something else that I was wondering is if we could take, I think it's Alice Pepper did the map from the 80s.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little more detailed than it was, but it does show the existing shoreline, or riverbank, I guess, then. I don't know if we were this, I don't know, to somehow see if the river is actually eroding in the upper section where it seems like it's just eating soil every big storm. And if so, if we could determine like a rate, so we could say something like, oh, in 10 years, if we continue to have like, you know, a 100-year flood every 5 years, then this is going to be in the road.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's why I was thinking it would be a good place to try the fascines, in those really, hard places. You just kind of, you take a rebar, you kind of do that, and then you
Is
just
there
dig
any way
it
to
in.
redirect? I mean, in the storm like that, you can't redirect.
No, I mean, that's what I was just kind of.
It's just coming up with boulders and
So you're just gonna
Move
push
stuff.
the water to the other side.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could take some dynamite out to the middle and get rid of the falls at the top.
Well, I was wrong.
And you're just gonna direct it someplace else and create a new problem.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't so ledgy, I mean, think of like all of the machine work around the bridges after each of those storms, where, immediately people are back in the river, pushing the banks back where they used to be. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
whatever. But I don't think those are.
Gotta redirect water at the source.
Yes, I remember when Greg Howard first came down, I don't know if you guys were there for it, but he was saying, they were talking about hardscape, I think this was Larry or something, he's saying, well, you could put a wall here and blah, 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 and we're saying, yeah, like, he's like, or not. But I guess those are options,
Sure,
but just,
Yeah.
it just seems like it would be pretty,
I'm sure it comes to a point where it's like, well, the road goes, or this, that kind of thing. And I think up until that point, we'd have priorities.
Yeah,
We're keeping this together.
I think the state would be involved at that point too.
Yeah, because that's more or less all, that one narrow spot is
Right.
essentially half the state right away.
Great, yeah.
Because our fence is just supposedly on the other side of the state right away. There. And I did, so we had been talking about more restrictions on parking to kind of like keep numbers down. And the two items were maybe asking, get rid of parallel parking. So just using the main lots essentially.
I like that.
And then using actually getting signs for the overflow lots.
Mhm.
and then turning the signs on that across so people actually see them.
They do, it has to be changed, yeah.
I have to also imagine people to see them and park there anyway.
But I think the excuse is they don't see them.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're,
They're this way.
I'd rather see 3 signs than 3 cars. That idea that we did it, limiting some of the signs. Well, there's 3 signs and 3
I
cars.
think not paving, but I think more work needs to be done just to make it, the parking more visible. So people don't park, like if you're eliminating parallel parking,
Mhm.
that's already taking like 6 spots from there.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Parallel parking. Okay.
Yeah, the stuff along the road just.
Yeah, it would be probably 4 spots. Because I think we were talking about keeping the main lot, keeping like the 3 at the handicap sign.
Right.
And then the corner lot, you can kind of fit 2 on the hill, and then I think it's 4 in between the handicap spot and the corner, more or less.
Which is so nice, lots of cars.
Mhm.
The other thing too is the check dams. Greg Howard mentioned to me last time I saw him that the one at the bottom, he said that one needed to be cleaned out. I don't know.
Oh, or like the,
Yeah, and the one up top probably needs to be cleaned up. I know,
Yeah.
basically.
that one I actually went out in the middle of the big rainstorm and like kicked it clean.
Oh, okay.
Because the water was actually missing it
Oh.
and going like 10 feet down and then turning left and
Right.
eroding a new gully.
Oh, geez.
No, but that's,
Because that's almost an annual thing, I think,
Yeah.
having to rebuild the check.
Yeah, right up maintenance. Free. He's got a message from Margaret.
Conservation Commission.
We should have it by conference.
Yeah, everyone's sitting at home in pajamas. Sounds great.
Thomas will be here directing everything.
I don't know. I was pretty happy in my pajamas an hour and a half ago. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Check dams.
Yeah, no, they're great. Upkeep. And we could also, I guess, look full come spring and look for other things that we would want to construct. I guess an example of that would be at when you're in the main lot and you go down the staircase to the right, the picnic table's right there, most people go straight down to the river.
Mhm.
And that's essentially held back by like 1 or 2 routes that seems to erode a little bit more every year. So it'd be like a check dam, a whole difference with a check dam or a step or whatever.
Makes sense.
One of the things Bill mentioned in his email was about maybe I missed this conversation about town-only parking spots that we.
Yeah, so we, was it November, right? Whenever, no, before that, we've been talking about the idea of the corner lot becoming town-only parking. And I talked to our select board representative, and essentially it was told there's a whole bunch of questions they would want, they would want us to them.
They
All-
would not want.
And essentially, like, some research done, like, one of the questions that immediately came up was that the select board has been told forever that because that's the state right of way, the state doesn't allow any kind of designation of parking between resident or non in their right of way. So it'd be just going through and doing research on, like, is that a true statement or a false statement, and that would just stop it dead
Right,
there,
right,
so
right.
to continue. And then, like, how does the police chief feel about it? Does he want to be up there more? Like, what, like, giving numbers to the questions that they always get
Yeah.
as soon as this comes up. So that's like the system side of it, and then the other side of it was kind of the same kind of conversation we've had about the feel of it, and I got the gist without being told so that the select board does not feel it's a nice thing to do to like put up no stranger signs in town. And
Well, yeah, I think we brought it up just as a suggestion. I think basically nobody thinks it's a great idea.
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing to try, because, like I said, some people, or local people aren't necessarily able to use the falls because there is no parking available.
Well,
And then all these other towns do it, and the point was, give it a shot.
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely residents who are for it, and I'm sure there's residents who are against it, but they're not, no one's spoken to me about being against private, but I've heard from several people that they would like to see that happen. I can go either way with it.
Mhm, like this.
I'm more and more thinking it's not, this is totally ducking the issue altogether, but more and more I feel like it doesn't have anything to do with like erosion control. And like if it really is an issue that the town wants to push forward, like I don't know if we are the group that ought to be pushing it forward.
Well, to my mind, we're not ever saying, yes, we think go ahead, but we're not going to be doing the research and doing all that, because, we can just make a recommendation and let the town do with it as they will.
I mean,
I think it's a reasonable idea,
yeah.
and it's pretty minimal, it's 4 spots. And we are the people that pay the taxes in town, so, like, just 4 spots. It doesn't work.
Probably would have less impact, because those 4 spots would probably be less filled.
That's actually true.
I mean, that's our big thing, is fewer cars, fewer footprints.
Yeah. Yeah, the fewer cars thing for sure.
So I didn't, in reading his email, I didn't know if I missed something between a group.
Let's see.
He
No, Bill went back tonight and suggested that,
I just dropped it for an hour or something, right? He said-
well, he thinks it should be maybe unanimous and then recommended to the select people to take that issue from us, per se.
So I started doing an informal poll last fall,
Yeah.
and standing at the post office and talking to people. And it's there, I do have a list, I of course don't have it with me, but there, people generally would be in favor of having some town designating parking spaces. Townspeople would be more likely to go to the falls if some parking were more accessible. So I was surprised. At first I thought, oh, this is, there's not enough interest, but there is some interest.
We're doing great.
And-
Is anybody against it?
One person I can think of, he thought it was just way too elitist, but a lot of people,
Elitist doesn't strike me.
well,
Yeah.
it doesn't me either, but anyway, you get different opinions when you're talking to
Yeah.
different people.
I think it's a feel-good thing. I think as a townsperson, if you felt like it's a place you'd like to go and you're always frustrated that you couldn't,
It's a little perk.
I think it feels pretty good. That your town's kind of thinking of you.
Yeah, it is a feel-good thing. However, people do bring up as well that there is that parking lot on Crossroads,
But you,
Which-
feel very strongly about it. Why do you feel so strongly?
Personally, wow, I do feel that I guess I've watched it over the years, Pam. You know, I see such a change over the last years that I mean, I've lived here 35 years now, imagine that. And what a change. And I guess I would like to see more townspeople using it. And I don't know, maybe it wouldn't make a big difference at all, but I would love to
So when
see
you go there, you see people you know.
Yeah, I'd love to see it more available for, you know, the local people. And maybe those parking spaces would be a change. Yeah, it might be a little turning point. I don't know. I know things change. I mean, all you have to do is look at, what's the one downtown? That's the big, always the, off West Side Road. That's the
Dana's house.
Diana's Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is look at that to see how things change. I mean, nobody used to go there. Now it's,
Right.
now they can't keep people away.
And on the other end of that, since they've started to manage it better, now you feel like you'd be willing to go there because it's not a complete madhouse, it's just a partial madhouse.
Right.
Which sounds kind of weird, but they cut back, you know, who can actually fit in there.
Mhm.
And now if you sneak in at the right time or ride in, there's just not as many people.
And I wonder where people go.
Jackson
That
Falls.
aren't funded in Jackson Falls.
Well, if
Well, I mean, the
Banana
Village
Village.
is a pretty, summer's good. I mean, there's a lot of places to go. Really, there are. There may be off the beaten path, but truly there are.
Yeah, there's some-
And the parking is limited at the falls.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you
would
want
wonder
to
if we
walk
just hang a copy of like the waterfalls of the White Mountains. Right by the falls.
Exactly,
Like reserve one parking spot just for the book.
exactly. Just go to Arethusa.
Is it too busy
Oh
again?
my God, I refuse.
In that vein, would the bigger question of kind of like erosion and overuse of the falls, which are, I guess, what we're mostly managing for, are there things that you would like to see?
Not really. Well, I mean, I think as someone pointed out to me, it isn't really overuse. It's, you know, it's the use that people are not using it properly. That we can accommodate the numbers. Yeah, over on the rocks, you can accommodate a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, but it's just that it is not being, you know, it is not being used properly. People don't approach it the way they should. They don't stay on paths. I saw people there. I was always seeing people out there picking blueberries and, you know, tromping all through the plantings. But I guess you just can't stop it all.
No.
It was interesting when I was digging through the filing cabinet, there's actually a different person from UNH who the Conservation Commission had approached, this would have been in the early 90s, maybe kind of being like, how do we manage Jackson Falls? You know, there are a lot of people coming here in recreate, and at that time, the recommendation was to like cut all the undergrowth so you could see the pretty view from the river, from the road. Which I feel like now is the thing that we're like, put the undergrowth back, make them walk on the path.
Right, don't worry about erosion control. It's all just washed away.
Yeah.
It's a slab.
So it was interesting to see that.
It's just a slab.
Keep them on the path.
Like worse falls.
Just drive by.
So I think if we were to recommend locals only, the two questions at least that we would, if we were going to be bringing it forward, that the select board would want answered are, is it essentially possible and not is it the state? Is it legal? And I was told that they don't want to be the ones spending time and resources to do that because they don't see it as a high priority, that they want whoever is bringing it forward to be answering those questions.
Outside subcommittee.
Yeah, you'd have to approach the state, I guess, and
Yeah.
see, you know, what they would do, because they're the ones, right, that do control that
Yeah.
that's a state road. And you're right, I don't think the selectmen I don't think they consider it a high priority, so I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to go about it, but I guess.
Well, Kenny's
I could
got
find
it.
out. I was gonna say, I'd talk to Kenny.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be a start as well.
Well, puts you in the direction, or at least get you the contact.
Yeah, he's helped me a lot of times on
Yeah.
things that I don't know the answers to.
That would be nice.
So if somebody wants to lead the subcommittee, I'm all for it.
Yeah, too. A little bit. Yeah?
I was
if I
They
see,
say the town should be doing this, but, you know, it's like it's not their priority, but
if you want to get hold of Kenny further out,
who is it?
from the state,
What department?
DOT,
What's his last name?
further.
CROW?
I might even have it.
Tom, do you want me to go, Kenny, or do you want me to do a little investigation?
you, sure.
Hey, I'm right across the street, I see him every day.
Yeah, that'd be
If
good.
if he needs to get all of me, I'm willing to talk to him, I just don't want to start the beginning of it. the
I'd
beginning.
certainly be willing to talk to
Yeah,
you.
if you can get it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, then no problem.
No, you go right ahead.
I'm just saying, I know it would be easy for me
Yeah,
Yeah,
to make an initial contact.
that would be
right,
great.
Okay, I'll let you know.
that'd be good.
Great. I think that's it. So we can continue basically all these conversations.
Mhm.
And we alright, so consider no, Gray's Inn is next, but I think we kind of hit that. There's no more how we feel about Mountain and Trail.
That's really good. I did have one question before I forget. That, I mean, maybe we've said this every year, I ask this question, that piece of land at the end of Maroon Road, that's on Wildcat, by Dr. Anderson, is that a piece of land that we monitor? Or-
Yeah, I walked that last fall.
Is that the Wildcat Trust land?
Yes, it's,
Does that come up on our,
That is Spinach.
Spinach?
Yeah.
But that's not, is it on the list?
uh,
Do you report on it?
I didn't know.
No, it's totally Spinach, I think. the town-
Oh, okay.
we walked that one though.
Well, I walked it separately,
Yeah,
we
I walked
plan
it.
to walk it together.
This is essentially where the Wildcat Valley Trail goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm remembering everything correctly, last year we thought we had 2 additional town-owned easements, one of which turns out ski touring owns, I believe, at the very end of River Notch Road. And the other one was that Wildcat Valley Trust along that east bank, which Stinnif is the one that owns the easement on it. It was interesting because actually last year I talked to, I don't know, a lawyer or someone on the board of the trust. And then this year, Stinnif contacted me again to be like, hey, we see this letter, did we miss something? Does the town have some ownership stake in this that we don't know about? And I was like, I'm pretty sure we were mistaken. And that is entirely, I was told last year at least by someone from the board that
Right.
it's a Stinnif held.
What about, this is similar topic, what about the piece that Jackson Ski Tour put into conservation list on the Ellis? 100 and something acre parcel, do you know much about that?
A little bit. I read the thing in the paper, and I actually went out on ski pass. I talked to Pete about it a little bit. It's land that they already owned,
Right.
that they put under, turns out, 2 separate easements. They had to put the trail under an easement, and then the rest of the property went under this watershed maintenance easement, of which I don't remember the right title. Because, and I believe it's the USDA that holds the easement.
Yeah.
And she was saying that everybody was pretty excited about it because the USDA, and even though the Forest Service is part of the USDA, whatever rural development agency part of the USDA, they've been told to try to do things together with other agencies when possible. So the land backs up on the national forest, so it's 2 agencies with a bigger chunk of land, and then it feeds into the town water supply, which is another aim.
So this is the Ellis River.
Essentially, it's Ellis River Trail is now under conservation easement, is the short version, rather than Jackson Ski Touring just owning it outright with no easements. So they now own it outright with these easements on top of it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I submitted mine too. I do.
Cool.
I don't know. Everybody else has.
Yeah, I went in and looked. I think I saw it around once.
Oh, really?
I did it.
Mine.
I didn't see yours.
Yeah, it should be up, it
Yeah.
doesn't even show that it's updated from when I went to look and see if it updated, it's not.
This is a small break, but I remember when we switched to doing it electronically, I was told that it would automatically populate every year, so you could just hear hit yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I knew I would just retype all of
I
it.
know.
It's not that hard, but
It's not. Mine's the same words over and over again.
Yeah. We'll do what we have to do. All right, we got the annual report. And the only new business I had was just a report from the meeting with Wendy. So hopefully we can, and that, I don't know if the report that she's working on will be distributed, but she will show up in the the Granite database that UNH has for mapping, it'll all show up in that. So if you were ever using that service or that information, you can, when you click on Prospect Farm, it'll have all this information in it.
Which one is this? That we go under?
It's called NH Granite. It's the online mapping service that UNH provides.
Huh.
So this information she was collecting on town-owned parcels will go into that mapping service. Kind of similar to TaxNet in town, like when you come in the town office and you click on and you ask them to put things up on the tax map, it'll have little notes about
Like
like,
assessor's card.
yeah. So it'll have all that kind of information along with it. But it seems like they're interested in town-owned parcels being managed well and for not necessarily economic benefit, but for benefit of the towns that manage them. And I think that's all.
And it's granted.
Yeah. So it looks like next month will be on the 5th, which seems fine, at 5:30.
All right.
And we got the seedling book, we can talk about this. So we can order everything and get the,
I don't see what the things are.
I know.
I'll have to get it from someplace
I'm
else.
sure we can make them too.
Yeah.
Right.
What you say about the seams is they have roots. Yeah, so these would have roots. But I think the